those three elements in creating more residents downtown, more density downtown, and a more vibrant downtown.
One of the issues we had in redeveloping the Platte Valley was school dedication lands. And as the valley developed and the zoning changed and we came to see what it looked like, there was an expectation that there would be mostly empty nesters and single people down there. We went through a period when it looked as though families were actually going to make their homes in the mountains and have a small apartment in town and need a school. So we're in this very difficult place. The school dedication lands are gone. And finding how to move forward is important. I don't know, actually, I haven't looked at the last census breakout to see if we have enough that will actually justify building a school in the next bond issue for DPS. But clearly, from the grocery store to all of the 24-hour amenities, what's going to happen in downtown Denver to keep it growing and make it the 24-hour downtown we all want to see is going to require each one of those, and so I'll be supportive.
Sure. You know, we've had the benefit of the vision of, you know, the new zoning code and Blueprint Denver, and we're moving in the right direction as far as looking at our neighborhoods and making them sustainable so that we can walk to grocery stores, we can play in our neighborhoods, we can go out and have dinner in our neighborhoods and grocery shop. And obviously, that's why people are moving to Denver, because they want that lifestyle. We all want that lifestyle, and that's why we live in Denver, we live in our neighborhoods. And so a school is a critical piece of that, and we need to get behind that and support that and keep moving in that direction.
You know, it would be great to have a school downtown, but I'm also concerned about so many schools being closed in the inner city, around downtown over the years. You know, schools are the soul of a community, and when we shut down those schools, we make those communities unattractive to families. So I think we need to preserve the schools all over the inner city as much as possible for future growth and work together, city and the school district, to revitalize those neighborhoods for families of all sizes.
Okay, we have arrived at our final question for all of you. We'd like you to share something that you heard tonight from one of the other people sitting up there next to you. Something perhaps that you agreed with, something that you learned, or something that may have changed your mind, or perhaps something that wasn't said that you would have liked to hear. Kind of wide-ranging. We'd like you to try to stick to 2 minutes on this, and we'll go in reverse order, so we'll start down here with Theresa Spahn.
Thank you. Something that I heard that I very strongly agree with is what Carol Boigon said. You know, when we look nationally and we look at our leaders who we are expecting to solve our problems, what's wrong is that there is no civility, that people are not finding common ground. People are not focusing on the problem and the issues. And we keep focusing on where we're diverse and where we don't agree. And as the mayor of this great city, what I need to do is exactly that, is to be positive, to walk in and partner with the school board and the superintendent and work shoulder to shoulder and find common ground, provide that leadership, and find a place where we certainly can fill some voids and start to be part of the solution. I think that's critically important. I thought that Carol was said that, was very well stated, and I completely support and agree with that.
Thank you. Chris Romer?
Sure. You know, how can you not be moved by Michael Hancock? I mean, come on. The courage he showed on the Northeast Plan and the passion with which he describes the choice that he's making is something that moves me. It always moves me. It's why I want to be mayor. It's why I've been on this journey for 22 years. So that was particularly important to me, and I thought it touched me. I don't know if it touched you. And I really respect your courage, Michael, for what you did in Northeast Denver. And keep doing it. I think James Mejia's comment about parental responsibility, right on. I mean, we are not going to do this without really holding not only schools, mayors, but also parents accountable, because we need a partnership that's long been missing, and we have to raise expectations, and I talk a lot about that, because when you expect more, you get more. We need to expect more out of parents. So I think James had a real strong point there. I think, Doug, in your comments about the pain involved in closing schools, let's be honest, it's hard. There's a lot of agony. There's a lot of process, and we need to make sure that process Acknowledging how painful it is of what's going on in Northeast Denver is important, because there are people whose lives are being affected, and we need to have empathy. Even all of us reformers who strongly believe in that plan need to understand there's people whose lives are being affected, and we need to wrap our arms around them, and we need to be fair to them. So, in closing, I want to be your mayor, because I think it's really, really important that the next mayor of Denver expect even more. I think our best days are ahead of us, and I know it because I'm back in the place that helped me make my own life decision, to want to be a public servant. So, together, we can do extraordinary things, but we do have to have a little sense of urgency, that it's time. Our time is now. The simple formula that Kip uses, why Kip is so good, why Kip is featured in that movie, Waiting for Superman, is we provide 50% more contact time for those students. It is so hard, and I said this so often to my colleagues in the legislature, it is hard to bring children out of poverty up to a world-class level. Together we can do it. There's a formula to do it, and I want to be your mayor because it's really important. It's the most important thing we're going to do to really make this community soar. It's a world-class city. We need a world-class school district. I'd like to be your mayor. Thanks.
Thank you. And James Mejia.
I think when I think about all the comments tonight, I think we've heard some very good ideas. The thing that sticks with me the most is Doug Linkhart's comments about where we make our investment in this city. To me, when Doug talks about spending too much in incarceration, and too much in rehabilitation, too much in remediation, I think he's spot on. I think it's much better and a much more wise investment to start investing in our kids instead of having to pay to repair our broken adults. And so, Doug, I give you a lot of credit for your direction on that. And that's why when I'm elected, Doug, I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing. Anyway, I admire that direction and would very much like to partner with Doug at some point. Thank you.
Doug Linkhart for a final statement.
I want to talk a little bit about parents. I do think that they need to be more responsible, more accountable, but I don't think we can just expect it or see that it's going to happen. And I know that James had talked about responsibility and accountability. I think that's good. And if I could wave a magic wand, I would have teachers in school 2 weeks early and paid for it to go out and meet with the families and talk with the families and get the parents engaged and get to know the parents and have them be part of the solution. But we as a community also have to invest in those parents, just as we have to invest in kids. We need to invest in literacy programs because a lot of them don't speak English. We need to invest in job training programs and mental health and drug treatment. There are lines of people waiting for mental health treatment and drug treatment in this city, and they're not getting it. It's a simple solution to a lot of our problems to make those services available. I also want to comment on teachers. Yes, we need quality teachers in every classroom, but they're not entirely solely responsible for the success of our children. We're responsible as a community. And I don't believe it's fair. I voted against CSAPs as a senator. I don't believe it's fair to rank schools, grade teachers in terms of one class versus another class. We need to look at progress of the same kids over time on a longitudinal basis, and we're moving that direction, which is good. But for those who want to blame teachers for everything, I say point the finger the other way. We as a community need to invest in our kids. We need to invest in our families. We need to be responsible for the success of our children.
Michael Hancock.
First, I think it's important for all of us who are sitting up here running for mayor to think beyond the platitudes and the applause lines. Because every one of us need to think about what we've done before we decide to run for mayor to return quality schools or create quality schools in every neighborhood in this city. And when you look at my record, you'll find that before I was asked, just the mere presence of failing schools required me to act with community members to turn schools around. Today, Martin Luther King